Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In our packet is the minutes from the May meeting. We did not have a meeting last month.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second, any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no.
I have no correspondence today.
Treasury report.
Are you going to do that or not?
Oh, you can go ahead.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, treasurer's report as of the end of June, the balance is $75,332.91. Invoices to be paid today equal $2,019.20. Approval of the bills as of today, the account balance will reflect as $73,313.71.
Motion to accept the financial report and the checkbook balance.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Bill, second.
I'll second.
Second by Jim. Motion's been made and second. Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. And the bills for this month, since we didn't have a meeting last month, we have the KOH $200 for May and for June.
That is 4. And then KLH, there's one under there for the LSA grant application as well. My apologies, I missed it, so I printed a separate check for $146.
Sherry, $819.20.
And it's more because I have worked on the audit with Kim, gathering all the information, getting it, so she's almost completed.
And for Yablonski, Costello, and Lecky, $400, which is 2 months from May to June.
800, yes.
Motion to pay the bills.
I make the motion.
Second.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and second. Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Solicitor's report.
There's been no activity in the last 2 months from my end. Of course, we're on hold with the big project until the financing gets sorted out. Once that happens, then we'll be very busy.
That will be very busy. Engineers report.
All right, thank you. Everyone should have a copy of the report. So again, continue to pursue all avenues of grant funding. We do, or have, it appears we've received a grant of $3.5 million with the help of Representative Reschenthaler. So that is a STAG grant, the State and Tribal Assistance Grant. It has been approved by the Appropriations Committee, and this was just on June 29th, so this was last week, and it's expected to pass through the House later on in July. So for the next couple of weeks, I want to look to see what we can do with that grant money, talk to PennDOT, talk to RUS, and with their help, can we get the plant constructed along with maybe sewering Westland, which requires a pump station force main to the plant and the gravity sewers in Westland, and see what type of loan those residents could support. So, and I think we talked about having to piecemeal this as grant funds become available, but this is the first. So, and I think that was a little more than the average grant. They had the entire list nationwide.
Nationwide, yeah.
Nationwide, and 3.5 was up there. There may have been a couple $5 million grants, but there were some 500,000s and a 1.5. But yeah, 3.5 was pretty good.
Pretty
so
good.
Good.
And also, there's been some correspondence with the county too on some
Yes,
grants.
yeah, Jason
They've asked for
Deakston
more.
with the county, they are getting their plans in order. So when the federal funds come through the county, they want to be prepared with all the asks. So, working with them, and again, Penvest, Dan McKessick, Todd Colley with RUS. We do have another grant through, or being sponsored by Representative Reschenthaler's office with the Army Corps. So, try to do everything we can to pursue all avenues. In fact, PWEA is sponsoring a seminar next Wednesday, I believe. And they're gonna show the various funding and grant opportunities. So we'll be attending that virtually, signing up for that.
Yes.
And I know Penvest is gonna give a talk and some of the other state agencies. So,
The only one we haven't heard anything from was the state.
correct. Right, yeah, we have the LSA, the statewide. Last we had heard when they first went in, I think there were, I want to say there was 150 million to give out, and they had received almost $1 billion in
Requests.
applications.
Applications.
So, very competitive, but our application's in,
Right,
so.
see what you can get.
And the big thing is we're ready. We're shovel
Right,
ready.
right.
A lot of these other
And-
people may be putting stuff in, it isn't. so.
And I think it makes sense to start, I mean, we need the plant, right? And Westland is right there.
Yeah.
With the pump station, so we still have a handful, well, probably a little more than a handful of easements. So I want to start concentrating on the Westland area to make sure we have all those easements in place, and then getting from there up to the plant. I'm sure there's a couple road crossings with PennDOT, so I want to make sure those are in place. And moving soon, yeah.
Do you have an idea what it costs just to do Westwood?
You know what, I do not have the gravity sewers. The pump station's just over $1 million. The plant is just over 8.
Okay, is that on your figures for 2020?
No, I think these were updated. Yeah, I think these are the most recent. And then the gravity sewer, so we're probably still talking 11 million or so to do that. With the plant being the biggest.
Well, that's, yeah.
ticket.
Plant
that's
being
the
the biggest
biggest,
cost.
Exactly.
Will they let you do that if, I mean, like put a plan in that big for anticipation?
Well, yeah, and the one nice
Because
thing.
it is designed,
Oh, yeah.
it's designed like that.
Yeah, it'll be an operational challenge.
Could-
A slight
won't be
challenge.
enough.
But right, exactly. But the one good thing with the SBRs, it's a multiple tank system, and you can easily take tanks offline. So we would come online with probably just, well, maybe 2 tanks. The digesters are multiple tanks, only operate one. The influent pumps are the pumps, so, yeah, it can be done.
Okay. Any
So
questions? for
finally,
Dave?
some
No.
Movement.
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 Certainly good news.
Positive movement.
Yes, that's a good thing.
All right, anything else, Dave?
No, that's all I have.
Citizens' comments. We got one citizen tonight.
I do. I have a question on the discussion just went, if I may.
You may.
So how many do you use in Westland?
You know, I do not have, I'm guessing 60 or so.
60 or
Does
so.
that sound about right?
So the plan is to go ahead and build the original plant size, even though you're going from 500 to 60. That's more than just one tank offline to keep it running efficiently. I mean, I'm concept of how you're going to run a 250 EDU single side of that system for 60 people efficiently. And that also makes it sound like as if the board and everything is still in motion to make this a single plant thing, just do it in pieces.
That's what we've been discussing, yes.
Versus satellite plants.
Versus satellite plants, which come in a lot cheaper because you're not building a 500 EDU plant, you're picking 5 different spots and building 100 EDU plants.
I think the hope is while we're doing this analysis to make sure Westland can support some type of debt service, hopefully we hear about these other grants and can, quickly expand the system.
I think what Gary's trying to say is put a package plant for Southview, for Westland, and
Yeah, here's the bottom line. So far, over 10 years, whatever, cost what, $2 million? The authority's on hook for 2.5, somewhere in there. I mean, that's $1,400 for every household in the township, and we still have nothing to support. And even if we look at that as water under the bridge, which, I don't know how Cherry Valley people would feel about paying that on top of their sewage bill they're already paying, but, it's.
I'm gonna stop you right there for a minute. What do you mean Cherry Valley paying on top of that?
Well, every time, as long as the township has been picking the tab up for this so far, which it has, including
Okay.
accepting the loan, that means every house in the township
Right.
is paying for this.
not for the sewage, but for the
Including
debt.
those houses, all
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
For the loan debt.
Okay, gotcha,
right?
Mhm.
And
gotcha.
And so
That's
we-
why I just was curious.
to continue down this side of this, I have a concern. A good example, the latest Penvest to come out, Du Bois is the only people that got even close to a number that gets to where we're talking about for this system. And Du Bois has all the infrastructure of a Walmart, several hotels, et cetera, around it, on top of their 7,000 people that live there. We're talking apples and oranges. I'm still highly concerned and wish the board would consider seriously the fact that the payback alone, even if you got the full thing, what are we up to, 35 million?
In the 30s.
Yeah.
So the payback alone on that, even if you got all 500 people in, is how much on a 30-year? What's each person paying? Or are you gonna hit them with tap-in fees at more than 10% of their house's worth in the township system? You see what I'm getting at? And it's, like I said several months back, I just want to reiterate it. The satellite systems, smaller, cheaper, yeah, sooner or later, you're gonna run to a place where you're trying to figure out where you're gonna put that plant for Dyer Drive and make it work. And nobody ever wants a sewage system in their area. I get it. Yeah, nobody likes hog farms in their area either, but they happen. It's just a thing that the dollars are really there. And I talked to somebody, they said reconsideration for a satellite plant is not a big deal. I know that was an issue the last time I asked, that, it might, we have to go back through the five that we gotta do it. I understand you have to go back through all that, but seriously, they acted like that is not a big deal.
I don't
If
have any
you've got a
idea.
good reason to be
But just
doing
over the
that.
past years, they've been pushing for regionalization to get
Right.
away from the smaller remote sites and bring everything to a more central location.
But they backed on that, and Union Township was one of the first ones to jump on it, which I brought up at the last time I spoke about this. They were in the same boat. They were being told by the then chief it had to be one big plant. And when that all started to backtrack, they're now putting in 5 satellite plants. Again, it's not an easy job for you guys, I get it. I'm not here, but at some point, it's got to become the dollars per household, per person in this township that start to matter. It really does.
I hope the township could bear with us for the next 3 months, 4 months, just to see if we do have any luck with this statewide LSA, with these other grant applications with the county. And, if we strike out come October, November, then maybe we do look at, I don't know what the most critical areas are. Is it
Probably Southview and Westland.
Southview and Westland, which are the two opposite ends, pretty much, of
Dyer Drive?
And how much of those are gravity fed compared to pump stations?
But
Well, I think both could support a satellite plant with no station because we're pumping both areas to the new plant.
So we could actually eliminate the pump stations?
Yeah, in those two areas, I think so.
Of course, it all depends on where you put the package plant in, especially in Southview.
But I think I'd like to save that conversation for fall. It's been this long, right?
As an
I mean,
alternative.
shoot, it's been 11
Right.
years, right?
Yeah.
At least.
By the way, the schedule, which was updated in 17, still says you're building this thing in 18, so it's kind of.
It's done. You missed it.
Yeah, we're talking about expanding it.
I see both points. I understand where you're coming from. I understand. And we're gonna need more funding no matter which way we go at this point. So I'm okay with waiting another 2-3 months, see where the funding goes, and then,
I mean, based
and
on.
maybe
the
we
num-
still take a look at doing the
Based on the
split.
numbers I just heard him say, grant-wise and a few other things, you could be looking at, you know.
What's
If
a
you
package?
drop down to a smaller package plant, you could be looking at a whole different ballgame.
What would a
That's the other
package
thing.
plant for Westland,
Yeah,
what,
maybe
60?
$500,000,
How much, Dave?
maybe $500,000. I really haven't priced them recently, but
Right.
Steel's going up, say 750.
Oh, everything.
yeah, either a concrete MAC plant
It's
or
all,
a
everything's
steel.
up, so,
Oh, I know,
but,
but
back-
still,
Back in
Yeah.
2004, 2000, when we were gonna do that back in with the small package plants, it was 6.8 million to do all three.
that was everything. That was lines, everything, yeah.
wow.
So anyways, I appreciate you hearing me out again. Yeah.
Hey, you know that business too, because you've been in it.
I did.
So any input you can give us is accepted.
All right.
And, but I also agree, as I said, we're gonna need more funding anyway, no matter which way we go. Let's see what that does, and then,
And this is hot off the press too, so I'm anxious to hear what Penvest has to say that, if we have funds committed from another source, does that affect our ranking and any monies they might be able to provide? It's a shame they have all this money for these lead service connections on the water side. I mean,
Oh, yeah, that's the big push.
They can't find
That's-
they can't find applicants to take the money. It's
Crazy.
it is crazy.
Yeah, that's why our VP flew into Allegheny County a few weeks back, because she was pushing another lead pipe. Hey, we're gonna spend money on the lead pipes, we're gonna spend.
That is a big issue,
oh, absolutely.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else, Dave?
No.
We already talked about the updating on permitting and financing. New business, we have in everybody's packet is the draft budget.
Yeah, I didn't change the numbers on the top, 2021 to
It's
22.
2021, 2022.
22 is here.
Oh, 22 there.
Yes.
Which we need to vote and pass this.
Adopted, yes.
Adopt a new budget. You want to explain anything?
I mean, there's really nothing to explain. It's just from the past where you were, the funds that you have available that are coming in, and then what is just, in the budget is just that it's what's anticipated in fees that you'll be spending. So, and I went from the numbers of what was left over from 2021, but some of the things that are coming up with engineering and legal fees, left them a little bit higher because you're gonna be working on some of the easements and getting those completed, so you may have, larger fees in there, and then again, you may have leftover again, so.
Pretty self-explanatory, I suppose.
Our motion to accept the budget is the draft preliminary budget.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Seconded.
Motion's been made. Second, any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed no. Motion carries. As far as the audit, Sherry's been working with
Kim.
Kim, and that's almost completed.
Yes, it's almost completed. She just needed a couple of other information. She needed the plant, the closing not the plant, property, the plant closing documents, or the property closing documents, and then she wanted to review the, even though it's in 2022, you did it, she wanted to review the loan closing documents for the line of credit that went over. So I have those, and I have to get them to her. Unfortunately, Kim has been out of the office because she had COVID, and then she had a death in the family, so she was out of town for a while. Yeah, she was in Virginia, so she was in touch last week, and I'm gonna meet up with her, so by August, I would say you should have a draft budget or a draft audit to look at.
Very good. Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
Motion been made and second. All in favor,